to What's Right with the World with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hey everyone, welcome to What's Right with the World. So today we are talking about Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
Fill us in, Ben.
Pearl Jam is what's right with the world. We're just talking about their music. No. Pearl Jam, the famous grunge rock band from Seattle, came home this August and raised over $11.5 million to combat homeless in the Seattle area. They had 2 shows at Safeco Field, their first Seattle dates in 5 years. And they were the centerpiece of a week's worth of events promoting and aimed at raising money to combat homelessness in King County. So,
and over 11 million?
Yeah, 11.5 million and counting at the time of this recording.
Wow, that's insane. That's, this is it. People using their celebrity to do good and to make to make a dent in our social issues.
Absolutely.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. That's great. So they had 2 shows at Safeco Field, which is the big baseball field in Seattle. And it had a lot to do with McCready, who was a planner of this, and this article, by the way, is from the Seattle Times. I'm not sure if I said that. And he saw that they were planning, gigs at Fenway Park and Wrigley Field this year, and he wanted to make sure that Seattle didn't get snubbed. So once the Safeco Field dates were in place, the famously charitable band started talking about donating some of the proceeds, as they always do, to a local cause. So they wanted to make it a big deal, and they did. And as internal discussions began, they suggested a $1 million pledge from the band, and that quickly escalated to an ambitious $10 million fundraising campaign, spanning more than 70 partner organizations and countless individual donors.
Man, that's it. That's community coming together. And that's what it's all about. And it's nice that these, we have a tendency to romanticize the past. And I don't, of course there's always been people in history that have been successful, that have taken parts of their proceeds or used their celebrity to benefit society. But I think it's a lot larger now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are obviously, but I mean, it reminds me of it was last year. I think it was last year's with the football, in Houston, raising money for the Hurricanes.
Yep.
And, like this stuff happens like all the time. And, it's a little spot somewhere, and if we're lucky, it's water cooler conversation for 5 minutes one day.
Yeah.
But this stuff is happening regularly. Like they said, this one we're talking about, but they said that Pearl Jam always does donates a certain portion of the proceeds to local things. So it's, so this is something that they do on a regular basis. And I'm sure there's a lot of other bands that do this type of stuff.
Mike McCready, by the way, the person that I was talking about, is the lead guitarist for Pearl Jam. Sorry if that wasn't clear.
Okay.
Who organized most of this. And, so it reminds me of a Biz Stone quote. Biz Stone is the CEO or former CEO of Twitter, who said that philanthropy is the future of marketing.
Mm.
And some people look at that with a negative connotation, and I do not think that at all. I think that, the fact that more organizations and more big celebrities and athletes and musicians and businesses, that more people are, siding towards philanthropy, I think is fantastic. And you're right, best case scenario for them as an entity, as a brand, it becomes water cooler conversation for 5 minutes, and that's great. But it also is just really great to be the people helping other people.
Yeah, and I mean, and look underneath that, like so philanthropy is becoming a new marketing. Well, marketing only works if profits rise. So what they're saying is profits are rising with the companies and people who do philanthropy.
Right.
Philanthropy is working with other people. So what does that mean? That means that the general population of society is choosing to do more business with the companies that are associated with philanthropy.
Yep.
So that means that they're placing a value on it. That's another sign of the shift that's happening in this world. And that's why I have so much hope for this world, is because people, we're always looking at people and going, oh, what's wrong with people? What's right with people? As a general population, we are leaning towards doing business with people who support good causes. That's good.
Yeah.
As a general rule, society is putting value on itself.
Right.
That's a good thing, so that's a gigantic and now heading in the right direction. And the fact that companies are picking up on this, and I've said this before, I don't care if companies are doing it to raise their profits, or if they're doing it because they're wonderful people, or if it's a combination of both. I don't care. The fact that they're doing it and it's working is showing that where we as a society are placing our values. And we as a society are placing our values on enhancing the lives of those around us.
Absolutely.
And good causes. And I think that that's the most wonderful aspect of this. It's just gives me such hope for us.
And as far as Pearl Jam goes, I mean, they're, much like they're selling out Fenway Park and Wrigley Field, they could have gone home to Seattle and Safeco and sold that thing out as many days as they wanted to, and lined their own pockets, and they did not need the philanthropy aspect of this at all to sell those tickets or to raise their profits. But
right.
But they have this debt of gratitude and to give back to their city and the people that really need it, and that's just so awesome and commendable and should be commended, and that's really what's right with the world.
Absolutely. So keep it up. Thanks, Pearl Jam, and all the other bands that are doing it that we're not mentioning today, yep. And all the companies, and congrats to society for placing value where we should be placing value on enhancing our own communities.
I really wish that I could get Dave to end this episode of this show with him singing "My Baby's in Love with Eddie Vedder" by Weird Al, but we're on Spotify and stuff, so we can't do that. That's awesome. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll talk with you soon.
Glenn is available for life coaching sessions. To book an appointment or for more information, go to glennambrose.com, follow him on Facebook and Twitter, or click the link in the description of this episode.